Let's now look at the concept of ventilation-perfusion matching. So when we think of ventilation, we're thinking of the air that's being brought through the conducting zone into the respiratory zone. Ventilation is denoted by V. Perfusion is the associated blood flow which is coming to the alveoli to pick up the oxygen and get rid of the CO2. Perfusion is denoted by the letter Q. The balance between ventilation and perfusion of the lung is referred to as ventilation-perfusion ratio, or the VQ ratio. So optimal oxygenation of blood is achieved when this ratio is normal. Now the VQ ratio is something which is describing ventilation and perfusion over the entire lung. Understand that when we breathe, not all of our alveoli are inflated at all times, and as blood flow goes to the lung, at rest, not all of the capillaries are actually being equally perfused with blood. So there's some wiggle room there where we can increase ventilation and or we can also increase perfusion to specific areas within the lung. When the VQ ratio is not normal, we call that a VQ mismatch. And that is something that the body is going to try to avoid. So our body has homeostatic mechanisms that work to keep that VQ ratio normal. Now, as we work through these, we're going to use terms describing how we are changing ventilation and perfusion, but realize this is occurring in very localized areas within the lung in order to achieve a normal VQ ratio across the entire lung. So let's first look and see what if ventilation is reduced by some type of a fixed obstruction. Imagine that a child breathes in and aspirates a peanut, and that peanut then becomes lodged within a small bronchiole. We will depict that by having this blockage here within the airway. So what we can see is going to happen is that our perfusion, shown in red, is going to be normal initially, and yet our ventilation is what's going to be reduced. So in this case, we're no longer getting oxygen delivered to the alveoli. So if we look at this particular localized area of the lung, we would show that the ventilation is reduced compared to the perfusion. So a way to think through how does the body respond to this is looking at this on this very local level and saying, well, if the ventilation is reduced in this area, then we want to have an associated reduction of perfusion, in essence, to bring that ratio back to normal in this localized area. So as a result of the reduced oxygen delivery to the alveoli, we have a drop in alveolar oxygen. So notice that the P capital AO2, this stands for the partial pressure of oxygen within the alveoli. This is to be contrasted with when we have the little a, which represents the partial pressure of gas within the artery. Because our perfusion is normal, our CO2 continues to get delivered to the alveolus. So we'll actually have an increase in PaCO2, alveolar CO2. Again, the main issue here, though, is that we're having perfusion of a portion of the lung that's not being adequately ventilated. So the way the body is going to adjust to this is going to be to try to reduce the perfusion. And the stimulus that causes this is going to be related to the reduced oxygen level in the alveoli. This reduced oxygen in the alveoli is going to have a direct effect on the local smooth muscle adjacent to it. And it's going to result in vasoconstriction. That then reduces the perfusion to that particular area of the lung. So in this localized area, it brings this VQ ratio back closer toward normal. Now this is unusual because in systemic circulation, we saw that with reduced oxygen, it actually caused vasodilation. But in the lung, it causes the opposite effect. So this is a specific term called hypoxic, which means low oxygen, pulmonary vasoconstriction. And the purpose for this is to shift blood flow away from these alveoli that are not being ventilated to a portion of the lung which is better ventilated. Now, looking at this from the macro view, what that does is that then maintains a normal VQ ratio when looking at the lung as a whole. What if we take the opposite problem? If we say perfusion is decreased due to some type of a fixed obstruction. So this is something that we might see if a blood clot, what we call a pulmonary embolus, becomes lodged within the vessel leading to the alveoli. So in this case, our ventilation is normal, but it's our perfusion that is being affected. So in this case, we are not being able to deliver CO2 to the alveolus. We still can get oxygen in, but we can't get CO2 delivered to that alveolus to get rid of. So locally, we can think of the PaO2 as being normal or increased because oxygen continues to be delivered, but our PaCO2 decreases. So looking at our VQ ratio here on a local scale, we would see that our ventilation is normal, but our perfusion is reduced. So again, approaching this from the local standpoint, this would mean that we would want to do something to decrease ventilation to this area. So what happens here is that the decreased PaCO2 is going to have a local effect on the smooth muscle of the airways that are leading to this portion of the lung. And this decreased PaCO2 causes bronchoconstriction. This contraction of the bronchiolar smooth muscle is going to reduce the ventilation to this area, returning the VQ ratio in this localized area back to normal. So the net effect of this is it shifts ventilation to other areas of the lung that are well perfused and thereby maintaining a normal VQ ratio throughout the entire lung.